Hey YouTube fam, it's Daughter of the Most High. I was scrolling through video shorts for a few minutes and I came across one that is so interesting and so timely. This is just an excerpt, the video shorts have to be under a minute long. And this is from Vlad Savchuk's channel, if you're familiar with him at all. And his guest, I don't know how to say her last name. Her first name is Angela, and her last name is spelled UCCI. And in this is a 1 minute packed explanation of why people should not be practicing yoga. And she says it so well, and I want to share it with you. The reason why this is timely is because in my last video, I was talking about how people don't understand how the enemy has infiltrated just about every single thing on planet Earth so that he can bring darkness, kill, steal, and destroy darkness into our lives. That's his whole agenda, all the various ways, and Christians are still blind to it. And they need to be awakened to the fact that they can't just participate in most activities, to be honest, because the enemy he's, especially in these end times, he's everywhere and he's in everything. And I think he always has. It just seems more prevalent because we're in the end times and so in our face. So I want to go ahead and play this for you. It's so good. Here's a 1 minute clip. Now, I played it to the end and it goes right into the beginning again. There's not even a second of hesitation. So her first words are, the Bible talks a lot about, and I couldn't stop it right at the, pause it at the exact time. So that's where she's starting out. She's saying the Bible talks a lot about, and then she'll finish her sentence.
Talks a lot about roots and vines, and bottom line is that if the root is pagan, then the fruit is not holy. And the root of yoga is entirely saturated in paganism. The purpose of yoga was to yoke with, that's what the word yoga means, was to yoke with these deities. When you get yourself into these positions, the Bible tells us that our heart is deceitful. It doesn't matter what your intention is. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. You are creating basically an antenna with your body to just channel these ancient gods and goddesses, which of course we know are demons. It's basically like Ouija twister when you're doing yoga. You are just invoking the demonic. You just can't create your own practice of it. The word is explicit when it comes to divination. It's an abomination to the Lord. He commands us not to practice divination, and yoga by definition and by design is a physical divination practice, and we just have absolutely no business doing that. It's not just stretching. The Bible.
So I'm going to play it again because she says so much. She says it so well. She explains it so well in just this snippet. I'm going to play it again.
Talks a lot about roots and vines, and bottom line is that if the root is pagan, then the fruit is not holy. And the root of yoga is entirely saturated in paganism. The purpose of yoga was to yoke with, that's what the word yoga means, was to yoke with these deities. When you get yourself into these positions, the Bible tells us that our heart is deceitful. It doesn't matter what your intention is. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. You are creating basically an antenna with your body to just channel these ancient gods and goddesses, which of course we know are demons. It's basically like Ouija twister when you're doing yoga. You are just invoking the demonic. You just can't create your own practice of it. The word is explicit when it comes to divination. It's an abomination to the Lord. He commands us not to practice divination, and yoga by definition and by design is a physical divination practice, and we just have absolutely no business doing that.
Okay, so doesn't she do a great job just in that snippet? No wonder they made a short out of it. And it's so good. And what stands out to me is that she says that so many people think, God knows my heart. I just stretch and do these positions, and I have no intention of seeking the darkness. It's not in my heart to seek the darkness. People say the same thing about adulterous remarriages and fornication and all the other sins. I don't mean anything bad. I'm not trying to be in sin. I'm not looking to do anything that's harmful to myself or others. We are so deceived when we think like that. What is that verse that says, there's a way that seems, and I can't remember the word there, maybe right. There's a way that seems right to man, but its end is destruction. We have to know these verses. We can read that. I just paraphrased it, but there's a way that seems right to man, but its end is destruction. That's why we need to be literally shaken awake. And it's not once in a while. It's all the time. And like I said just recently, that we tend to fall into complacency so quickly. So quickly. The human condition, we are fallen beings. We need to say to ourselves, I'm a fallen being, and it's very easy for me to mess up. And even though I'm a Christian and I have the Holy Spirit on the inside of me, I'm a fallen being and it's easy for me to mess up. So I need to watch out, look out. What am I doing? What am I thinking? I need to take an inventory more than even once a day and just do a check-in. How am I doing? And if I'm negative, if my thinking's off, if my speaking's off, if my attention is focused on the wrong thing, I need to reset my dial. I need to reset my dial. And it's so important for us. Here we are in the end times, guys. We're in the end times. And where is it? Oh my gosh. I think it's in Corinthians where he says that I should be feeding you the meat of the word, but I still can't. You're still on the milk of the word. And these verses come to me as I'm talking to you. Otherwise, I would have looked them up before I did the video. But they come to me as I'm sharing. So the Lord brings them into my remembrance. But where it says that I should be able to feed you the meat of the word, the tough stuff, not the milk, not the honey, not the sugar, not the Dairy Queen of the word. The grace, the love, the everything, all my provision, my mercy, my everything. How about when we actually move to where we can pick up our cross, where we can be corrected and not fall apart, where we can actually say no to ourselves even once in a while and grow into where it's all the time. I don't need to be looking at that. I don't need to be hearing that. I don't need to say that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to drive like this. I don't need to whatever, fill in the blank. And if that's our self-talk. That's a Christian self-talk. And we need to stay very focused and aware of where we're at. And we need to check in with God and pray, Holy Spirit, Father, help me. Help me with this. I'm so angry today. I'm so depressed today. I'm so lazy today. I'm so whatever today. Checked out. And please help me to get on track. Please help me to get on track. And the response may or may not be instant, but the fact is you are doing your life right. You are managing your life right when you are checking in on yourself and you're seeing where you're at. And if you're doing good, great. You just keep going, moving forward, doing what you're doing, thanking the Father. If you're off track, you need to, like those old typewriters, remember, maybe you're not familiar with it, but you should look it up if you're young. And as you press the keys, the typer, where the letters are, the type ball, would go to the right, and it had an arm on it. You'd sling it back to the left when you got to the end of your sentence. I mean, it actually was that way. But it's such a perfect visual for our minds that we're type, we're thinking, doing this, that, the other, and then that little typewriter ball is all the way to the right, and then we sling it back. And we need to sling it back when our thoughts and our words and our way is off course. And we need to reset our dial sometimes, several times a day, On bad days, I think we have to do it several times a day. There's good days where we're listening to worship. You know, we're going to work, we're good. We're playing with our kids, we're talking with the neighbor, we're reading the word, we're listening to, either a teaching or, worship music or something that is beneficial and fruitful to us. The whole point is we just need to know our tendencies, and we need to understand the world system that we're in. And that just seems to be the point, so prevalent in the last couple days. I wanted to share that with you. Such a good, I haven't seen the whole, you could probably go to Vlad's channel and see the whole thing. It would be so interesting to let me see if he typed it in the comments. Hang on one second. Yep, he did. Watch this full video. A lot of times they do that on the shorts. They'll pin the whole video on the comment, or at the top of the comments, and he did. And so I'd love to listen more from her, because she's so interesting. So again, it's Vlad, and his last name is spelled S as in Sam, A, V as in Victor, CHUK. And I don't follow him. I am subscribed to him, but I don't pay a whole lot of, I don't watch his channel a whole lot, I should say. And but this video I'm going to watch. So, and you can look for it too. I can link it. I'll link it in the description, as a matter of fact. So anyway, that's it, fam. Take care. God bless.